Hey, what's up guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, there are 14 episodes left in Fear the Walking Dead Season 5, and the characters are dealing with what they normally deal with. Walkers, bad guys, bad people, villains, antagonists, whatever you want to call them. And, of course, like I said, walkers. But right now, they are dealing with a sort of a new, different kind of walker, which are the radiated walkers, if you want to call them that, because they are radiated walkers. They are walkers that have radiation. Because a power plant had melted down, and a bunch of people had died, and all those people had not only turned into walkers, because, when you die, you turn, but they also had a great deal of radiation. So, the problem that these characters face, that Morgan's group, Alicia, John, Daniel, Strand, everyone, the problem that they face right now is they can't just kill walkers like they normally do, because if they kill a walker and they get a bunch of the gunk on them, if it's a radiated walker, if they get gunk on them, they themselves are probably going to get sick, get contaminated, and die, get cancer or whatever. It could be a slow death, it could be a long death. I don't know. I don't know, how realistic the show is going to follow the rules of actual radiation poisoning and radiation in real life. But basically, it seems like the big thing right now, the big suspenseful threat right now is the characters have to be very careful about how they kill walkers that have radiation. If they get the gunk on them, they can die. So I'm thinking that one or two characters could die from this threat. I mean, it's Fear the Walking Dead. Characters die, So why not utilize this threat to actually have it kill a character or two, up the stakes? So, if a character is going to die from these radiated walkers, who is it going to be? Well, it could be June. I mean, June has already survived a season. She's still a relatively new character, but it's possible. I mean, they could go for her. I mean, she is in a romance with John Dory, and usually being in a romance gets you killed, especially on The Walking Dead. Being in a romance always got you killed. I mean, even Rick and Michonne. I mean, Michonne thinks he's dead, so that kind of counts. And then Glenn, Maggie, Tyrese, Karen. I could go on and on. Abraham, Sasha. Just a bunch, Beth had a bunch of boyfriends, they instantly died, So yeah, romance tends to get you killed on this show, and June and John have kind of had a long sort of on again, off again type romance. I mean, they're happy now, and they're together now, and they're almost sort of like glaringly happy. It's like, well, dang, they're really happy and in a romance right now. They're just so happy. If something bad doesn't happen to them, it would be strange and sort of out of the ordinary. So I kind of expect something bad to happen to them. And maybe that's the point. Maybe it's so obvious that something bad will happen to them because they're in a romance and they're happy, that's what ends up causing something not to happen to them. Maybe it's because it's too obvious, but you could have June die from radiation. You could have her die from, fighting a radiated walker, getting the gunk on her, getting contaminated. And it would be a really good sort of heartbreaking thing for John Dory's character development. I could see that really changing him and developing him for the future of the storyline and the future of the show. Plus, it just seems like, I don't know, I feel like something bad has to happen to John and June sooner or later, because they're just in this happy romance. And maybe they make it season 6, I don't know. But June just seems like she's been really happy lately. She's probably been the most optimistic, hopeful member of the group besides Morgan. She's the one that's the most optimistic about helping people and finding people. Just in episode 2, John was talking about how, he doesn't think they're going to find those 3 kids again, the 3 kids that ran away, because the kids don't want to be found. But June believes that, the kids do want to be found, and they're going to find those kids again, and that what they're doing is working. And June just seems to be the really hopeful, optimistic one. So maybe that gets punished by her being the one that gets contaminated, her being the one that gets sick. Plus, it'd be a really good way for her to have a dramatic final conversation with John Dory. John Dory's crying and everything, and June gets a chance to give a dramatic goodbye, and then she dies, and maybe that could work as the big sad death of the season. But as to whether or not I think this will happen, well, actually, I do think that someone could get sick and get contaminated from the walker guts and die from radiation. But I don't necessarily think it's going to be June. In fact, I do think that June is going to survive the season. I think that season 6 is when she could possibly die. But as far as the radiation and the radiated walkers, I think someone else, like maybe Charlie or Strand or Luciana or Sarah Wendell, I think one of them are a likely candidate as, you know, one or two of the big deaths of the season. But I actually think that June is going to survive the season. I just think they spent a decent amount of time building her up last season. The whole thing with her lying to everyone and her backstory, which hasn't completely been all that fleshed out yet, and her character development and everything with Madison. It just seems like they built her up too much in season 4 to kill her off in season 5. So I do think that she will make it to season 6, and she could possibly die there. But as far as season 5 goes, I actually do think that she will survive, and she won't be a victim from the radiation or the contamination. Anyway, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now we are at 545 subscribers. My goal is to try to get to 600 in the next few months. So just remember, every subscriber counts, every bit of support matters, and is very, very appreciated. Hopefully we can get to that goal of 600. Anyway, with all that said, I'm Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye!